everybody. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Let's Talk Design. So I'm Michelle Peralta from Josie Michelle Events, and I'm here in my Valley Stream home.
Hi everyone, this is Josie, your designer at Josie Michelle Events, and I am here from my house in Saddlebrook, New Jersey.
So maybe you're planning your wedding, maybe you're planning a sweet 16, a birthday, whatever your celebration is, you're thinking, how do I begin with my design? What do I do first? How do I select colors? How do I think style, theme, all of these details? So Josie's our expert, so I'll be posing questions to her. But as y'all know, I have a lot of opinions, so I may insert myself here and there.
Yes, we'll do it together. We still do it together no matter what. So your opinions are more than welcome.
Well, thank you. All right. So my first question for you. So when planning your design, where do you begin? What's the first step?
Sure. So once you decided you're going to have an event and you're ready to start design, the first thing is consider the season. What is the season you're having your event? Once you have that in mind, then you have to figure out what is the style of your event. So there's many styles like vintage, bohemian, classic, glamorous. We have shabby chic, rustic, whimsical, country. There's many elements that you need to think through. So once you determine which one is the one that you're going for, what is your style, that's the first step.
All right. And for those of you who don't know, I'm the vintage one. I'm the lady, I'm the 150-year-old lady inside. And so I like everything old. And Josie, as you can probably guess, is cool, fabulous, modern, colorful. That's her.
That's me.
That's her. All right. So after that, now you know your style. What's the next step?
The next step is choosing your colors. So when you're choosing your colors, don't be afraid to mix and match. When you're doing something that is very subtle, sometimes brides tend to be afraid of mixing colors and they just go for either white and blush. There's many ways to incorporate colors. You can have 2 colors, 3 colors, 4 colors, 5 colors. You just need to figure out how to do it and how to incorporate all these colors into your design elements.
And Josie, what is your opinion on having a theme?
I think a theme is good. Sometimes, you may think that, oh no, I don't want a theme because it's a wedding, and you're thinking weddings are elegant, and but a theme can be country, can be vintagey, can be modern, can be glamorous. So you don't necessarily need to call it a theme, but themes are fun because that what that means is that you are creating something unique for yourself.
I agree. I think for weddings, it's very tricky because you don't want to be cheesy. You feel like, I think a lot of people want to be safe when they're planning their wedding design.
Yes.
For birthdays, sweet 16s, all other kind of events, I absolutely love a theme. It really gets people excited and it's more fun to design, honestly. For weddings, we have done a celestial wedding. We've done a twilight themed wedding. We've done Gatsby weddings. When we were doing the Twilight one, we were a little concerned, we didn't want to go too far, and it was so tastefully done. And for anybody who enjoyed those movies and the story, it actually was really awesome. So show your personality, people. I like it. So now let's get a little bit more granular. Let's talk about all the different elements that make up your design. Can you walk us through those?
So next step is, once you figured out your colors, your theme, or the style of your event, the next one is think through what kind of venue are you having your event. For example, if it's an outdoor event, then you need to think what rentals, like from the tent, tables and chairs, and all these rentals that you're gonna need. If you are doing this at a venue that already is furnished, they have everything, then you need to see, what is their potential, what kind of furniture they have available. Will you have to rent certain items to bring the style you're looking for? Are there any restrictions in the venue that would not allow you to create the style you're looking for? So once you figured out, what's the venue is gonna look like, then you can start with a list of rentals and all the design elements that comes with it, from linens to the centerpieces to the favors to the cake table. Are
Can
you
I
seeing
say my
anything?
favorite one? My
Yeah.
favorite are invitations and gift
Yes.
accessories. Like that's like one of my absolute favorite things to work on. I feel like, we always hear words matter and they have such a big
Right.
on your guests, anything from signage, like, menus, table numbers, a fun message at the bar. I think that's like so cool. You mentioned the cake. Obviously, that's one of my favorites. Favors. And then, of course, the first thing everybody thinks about are your flowers, your centerpieces, personal flowers, even the attire of your bridal party, lighting. Are you going to have your name on a wall someplace? There are so many different pieces of it that you have to consider. So
Yes.
I think that's really fun. So digging a little bit more into rentals, you mentioned those. I'm seeing a lot of statement pieces these days as well. What are the biggest, or maybe what are your favorite statement pieces that you've seen over the past year?
I think right now is like fun furniture. Even if you are having your event at a venue that already have the tables and chairs, you can find ways to be different and be fun and bring your style into it. So as far as rentals, I think like modern, nice furniture, custom backdrop is very very popular as well. Linens. Imagine that the majority of the design element you're gonna see in a room are the tables. So why not rent nice linens? Because that's what people are gonna see the most. Also, charger plates. A table looks very nice and complete when you have those beautiful charger plates. You don't have to go fancy. There's many options out there. Just have fun. Try to bring in what's in style, what you like. Try to be different.
Absolutely. I think that one of my favorites has definitely been the bride and groom tables and
Yes.
chairs. So, for example, the mirrored tables, the acrylic tables, gold, marble, we've experimented with a lot, not only in weddings, but I'm seeing it a lot in bridal showers, baby showers, and it makes such a huge difference
Hmm.
to just kind of step away
Absolutely.
from the traditional like ballroom table and their tablecloth. Even if your budget doesn't allow for you to do the entire room with all those details, if you have that focal point and that backdrop that you mentioned, Josie, that is like gold. It's so exciting to walk in and see that.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And let me tell you something. As you said, you don't have to transform the whole room. If you have a focal point that, will create that look, and everybody will see that focal point, that'll be great. Sometimes even changing the utensils may make a big difference on your table. And that is not as expensive, yet, you can have a very nice design element on your guest tables.
Totally agree with that. Okay, Josie, now moving on to your vendors. Once you have hired your venue, who is the first vendor that you would hire, to a design vendor, to sort of start planning it?
I would say hire a designer like Josie Michelle events. If not, if you decide to go ahead and do your own design, I will say, what is the look you're looking for your centerpieces? Go ahead and find your florist. Florists are very important because florists can actually bring the actual look you desire. Once you collect a few pictures from Pinterest, let's say, um, a florist will help you bring exactly the design you're looking for. And not all the florists have the same style, so you also have to think of that. I think also if you're planning an outdoor event, before the florist, then I will go to the rentals. But most
Makes sense.
likely, for the most part, when you're doing it at a venue has everything. Just consider going to your florist.
Yeah, that's right. And then I would just add to that that besides, again, obviously, if you needed a tent, that is your venue.
Mhm.
You hire your florist, and then also consider if there are any other vendors that you're hiring that can only work one day at a time. That's usually not the case for a design vendor, but if you're hiring a boutique company or something, then you may want to consider that. Now, as you're hiring your vendors, Josie, what are some of the things that you need to consider in making the right decision about who you're going to hire?
Oh, absolutely. Well, you need to find the one that understand your style and your budget. Also consider it is very, very important that you choose vendors that are professionals, that they know what they're doing, that they have experience. Also consider, when you interview them, make sure that they are insured. For most of the wedding venues, everyone working on premises that they need to provide with an insurance. So make sure that the vendors that you hire are professional, understands all the regulations, are insured, and most of all, that understand you.
Yep. And I would just add to that that you should like their personality. And that may not be like such a big deal for every single vendor that you hire. So for example, if you're hiring your baker, you're probably only going to have one, maximum two appointments with them. They're going to deliver that day. Okay. Your florist, you're probably going to speak with your florist a lot. And if you're hiring a designer, that personal connection, the understanding, someone you feel very comfortable talking about the things that you mentioned, Josie, like this is my design style, this is my budget. Like those can be tough conversations. So you definitely want to make sure that you feel really comfortable with these people. Now I'm going to ask you a juicy question. So every once in a while, we're working with a couple or a family that needs to have other people weigh in on the design. It could be a mother-in-law, it could be grandparents, like, sometimes it's just other people in the family that need to have an opinion. What do you do when people don't agree and that stress comes up?
So I would say make a list of your priorities, what is important for you on the design aspect. So once you know exactly what you want to do, what you do is, everyone around you is important. Everyone is happy for you. And as Michelle said, they're going to give you opinion. And their opinion might not be something that you have in mind. But what it means is that they love you so much that they want to contribute. So what you do in a nice way is basically make a list of items that you can have some help, and then delegate. Tell them what do you need from them and give them homework to do. When you give them homework to do, basically you are making them feel special. You are making them feel that their opinion matters, but tell them this is the kind of help I need from you. And everybody's going to be happy after that.
Yeah, yeah. And like in any good relationship, you want to have patience, be a little bit gentle. I remember when I was planning my wedding, my husband doesn't watch these videos, so I can say this. Like I said, I'm very vintage and my husband's modern. I'm marrying this guy, so his opinion matters. But every time he had an opinion that didn't work, I would just say, did you finish picking out everything for the bar yet? Did you finish picking out all the songs, that first dance song and all that, because he's good at music. Share the responsibilities and be patient. All right. So, Josie, now what tips do you have for people to be able to plan the design successfully? It's a long process, especially if it's a wedding, it's going to be a long time. So what is your advice for that?
I would say that if you can hire a planner that helps you be organized and do things, in a very organized manner, this obviously is a lot of time consuming. So, you might be able to do it on your own because you have the ideas in your head, but, consider finding some help to help you put all this together. If that is not the case, there's many programs out there that will help you also be organized. The key here is to be organized. Don't get overwhelmed trying to do everything at a time. It is best to do one item at a time. So once you decide the style, as we are coming, tell you all the steps, once you have everything, one of the items down, then move to the next one. Don't try to do it all at the same time.
That makes a lot of sense. I also just want to, you already said this earlier, but I want to highlight understanding your venue's restrictions is very important. Don't try to do anything crazy that they're not going to allow, because you will be disappointed on the day of when, let's say, if you wanted something on a wall and you're not allowed to touch that wall, that will be very disappointing. So you want to make sure you don't do that.
Yes.
Also, I would say trust your vendors. You know, you've done your research, you hired somebody that you really fell in love with. Trust their opinion. You know, people who do these designs, they have a lot of experience. They've run into a lot of bumps. They learned a lot, so they are going to advise you appropriately, and you should certainly care about those opinions. And I'm going to say that my very favorite, and this goes back to the themes and why I love themes, is be authentic, show your personality. Don't be afraid, and you know, you don't have to be neutral in everything you go. You know, white hydrangea is beautiful, but you know, if you have a favorite flower or something, just be yourself. I think that's really important. All right, last question, Josie, for you is, now you've given us tips on how to be successful. What should we avoid on the day of so that we don't have any disasters?
This is for all of you out there that think you can do it all. We love the couple that actually have their personalities in some of the design aspects. They buy their own items that they want to incorporate into the design. But don't think that you can be a bride and also you can be the setup team. Even though you have your bridesmaids, you have family members that can help you. You have to think how many hours in advance you need to work prior to put everything together. You also, the bride, you're gonna need some time to have fun, because at the end of the day, you spend so much time, thinking of this big day, and it should be joyful and fun and memorable. So memories you want to create that day is just have fun with your family, celebrate with them, and let somebody else take care of the design elements. You know, don't be afraid. If you think, no, but I'm doing my own centerpieces, that's okay. But make sure you hire people that help you that day. And also don't forget, the same people that do all the setup hours in advance are the ones that are gonna do also the breakdown. So if you think that's okay, I have family that can help me, great. But remember, you're gonna be working hours prior to that. You're gonna be having fun at least 5 hours. And then when you are beat up from the whole party time, then you need to think, oh, now starts the breakdown. And it might be harder than the actual setup because you're already tired.
Some of the times that we've seen people do this, and it's always with the best intention, because somebody, an aunt, a best friend, somebody wants to contribute something special. But the challenges that we've seen with that is that that person is actually supposed to be at the family photo shoot at that same moment that the item would be delivered or would be set up. The other thing is that, we don't share this so much, but when we are decorating and we're setting up for an event, a lot of things happen. Like, things don't always go according to plan, doesn't go according to the floor plan, something is late, something is broken, and it takes a lot longer than you think, and you don't want your family or friends involved in all of that drama. So we take 5-6 people, and we'll do at least 3 hours of setup normally in order for everything to come out smoothly. And that's not something that you want your family and your friends to do that day. So I think that's very healthy advice. I hope that today's tips have helped everyone. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or you want to talk a little bit further. This is one of our favorite things to talk about. So thanks for joining us, guys, and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.